Welcome to Mobil 1 The Grid. Coming up, we go behind the scenes on race day with NASCAR team SHR, go testing with the Blancpain GT Series, and look ahead to Bahrain and China with Daniel Ricciardo. We begin the show in the USA during NASCAR's West Coast swing with Stewart-Haas Racing and their formidable start to the season. 2018 once again witnesses the improvement and growth of one of NASCAR's powerhouse organizations. Whether it be a manufacturer switch or a driver change, SHR has overcome the challenges and rocked the balance of power in this year's championship.
It's great to have Kurt and Clint and Eric obviously running well. We've had a chance to obviously win every race. It's been a bit of a surprise just because of the fact that I don't think anybody really knew where they were going to stand from a competition side of things. Everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing has done a great job, and cars are running great, and we've been fortunate to win a couple races, and hopefully we can continue that.
The manufacturer, Ford, is all running very, very well, coming out of the box stronger than we did last year for sure. Stewart-Haas in general, definitely with Kevin winning the last two races, has been huge. It's just good times right now.
A great start at Daytona, the super speedway for us, and then two different mile-and-a-half racetracks, and the team's been running really well. Kevin Harvick's car's on a different time zone, it seems like, with the lap times he's been laying down.
In line with SHR team goals, number 10 driver Aric Almirola has burst out of the blocks and has impressed his teammates with a near win at the big one, the Daytona 500.
It's been wonderful being a part of Stewart-Haas Racing, and it's just an incredible organization. All they care about is going fast, building fast race cars and winning races, and thought we were going to get our first win right in the very first race of the Daytona 500. We came really close.
He's been doing great, pushing really hard right out of the box, as any guy would at a top team. His information from the outside is important, but also just his enthusiasm for driving and getting that lap time out of the car, that last little bit of every practice session. Eric's got that mentality, so it's great to have him.
Rolling into Phoenix as part of NASCAR's West Coast swing, the pressure was on the SHR crew to haul enough parts and pieces for the 4 race cars.
You come in and set up, put on a show, and tear it out and go to the next one, but the logistics of racing this West Coast swing out here 3 races in a row is a nightmare. You're 2,000 miles away. It's just unbelievable what they're able to accomplish to get all this equipment here, let alone the race cars. It's just so drastically different as we roll in from city to city, from track to track, and get on a different track and fight a different animal.
For team leader Kevin Harvick, Phoenix was an opportunity to get a NASCAR Cup competition hat-trick after dominant wins in Atlanta and Vegas.
The earlier in the year that you can get into victory lane and be able to know that you're in the playoffs, the better off you're going to be. We put a lot of emphasis on the West Coast swing just because of the fact that you can gain so much momentum, and these are also the first 4 out of 5 races are racetracks that I really enjoy going to. Phoenix in general, the biggest challenges are really just getting the car to turn through the center of the corner and being able to stay in the throttle on the exit of the corner.
It's a fun track with it being flat and slick. Usually there's warmer temperatures here in Phoenix, and so the asphalt, really hard to get a hold of it. And turns 1 and 2 is much tighter and sharper than turns 3 and 4. And so the 2 ends of the track are very different, and you have to balance the car between the 2.
Passionate Arizona race fans packed out the campsites and filled out the bleachers, ready for race day, while the 4 SHR drivers prepared for a grueling 500-mile race.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
Harvick showed off his experience at Phoenix and timed his race to perfection.
Look at that, head down, focused, and look how smooth that car is.
An all-round great day for SHR, with Harvick claiming his first hat-trick and all 4 race cars finishing in the top 10.
Off turn 4, Happy Harvick gets his 40th career win.
To have 3 wins in a row in the last 3 weeks. It's been amazing. Kevin's team's done an awesome job, and Rodney Childers, everybody on this crew, they've really came out of the box strong this year, and I think the results are showing that.
Kevin's line is the very bottom, so it definitely was a little harder on him than it normally is, but you know, he stayed very patient, focused today, and did a really good job.
I'm really proud of having all 4 cars in the top 10. That's a great accomplishment for our company, because the better all of our cars run, the faster we can advance through setups and technology and things that we're trying. So to win the race today is pretty neat.
Next up, we head to Le Castellet in southern France, where this year's Blancpain GT contenders were testing ahead of the new season.
Circuit Paul Ricard played host to the Blancpain GT official test. 45 of the world's finest sports cars arrived at the new home of the French Grand Prix, ahead of the fiercely contested GT3 series, which sees amateur drivers fighting alongside some of the most famous names in racing. This year, Porsche takes on the championship for the first time.
I think for Porsche it's important to be back in the series, to compete with all these sports car manufacturers and show that Porsche has a good car, and I'm happy to be part of it.
It never gets weak. It gets more competitive every year, and you've got factory Porsche, you've Audi, you've got Ferrari, Mercedes. Hopefully we'll be in amongst those top cars.
The 2017 season was the best yet for Stefan Rattel's combined sprint and endurance series, with Grasser Lamborghini taking overall championship and driver's title honours after a close fight with Endurance Cup team champions Bentley.
Last year was very successful for the Grasser Racing team, for Lamborghini, for us, for me. But now clocks are set back to 0. A new season is on the way, so we have to work hard and push to be in front again.
We had a really good championship fight until the last race, and unfortunately we didn't get to win the driver title, but we want to make sure we do it this year. We're coming in as team champions, and still little things you can get better at every time and on every track, so we're confident and we're looking forward to it.
Bentley's 5th campaign sees Spa 24-hour race winner Jules Gounon joining a driver lineup, getting to grips with 2 brand new Continental GT3s.
It's a little bit more futuristic with the more aero effects on it, with the front splitter and the rear wing, and the team has really worked hard in the technical side to give us that extra performance. The car's working fantastic at the minute, and hopefully we're going to see what it's like against our competitors this month.
Now we got a new baby to take care of, and this car is going to be very competitive. We've been testing a lot, so we're a bit excited, and we don't really know yet how it's going to go, but we're very enthusiastic, and we can't wait to get started.
Porsche marked their 70th anniversary with a return to their roots and a renewed focus on GT racing.
The team obviously has a long history, great success in different series. They compete in the WEC, and it's a very professional team, so I think this is a good base to be competitive and successful in the Blancpain series, where the competition is very high.
A reduced 26-car Pro entry for 2018 reflects the philosophy of French boss Rattel, who sees the series Pro-Am format as an important part of its continuing success.
The amateur drivers and gentleman drivers are extremely important towards GT racing, because at the end of the day they're the ones that supply the funding and the budgets and help drivers like myself in order to make a career out of racing. So it's very important that the category is cared about and looked after, because that's the survival of motorsport.
Despite the increased amateur focus, pro competition will be higher than ever, as the world's best GT drivers do battle in a season-long knockout fight featuring 11 supercar manufacturers.
There are a lot of strong manufacturers, strong cars, strong teams for this year, so it's going to be as tough as always. I can only say we will do our best to fight, and in the first race in quali we will see where we are.
Everything has been put for this year to be successful. We weren't happy with 2nd place, and we're only looking forward to go one higher, but a lot of people here are wanting to do the same thing, so hopefully we learn and we'll be there.
Formula One now, as we take a closer look at the next 2 races on the calendar, Bahrain and China. After the season opener in Australia, the Formula One paddock moves on to Bahrain in the Middle East. The track is located in Sakhir, 30 kilometres southwest of the island's capital, Manama, and the Herman Tilke designed circuit has been on the calendar since 2004. The race is held at night, throwing up unique challenges for the drivers.
Bahrain's quite tricky. You know, a lot of the practices we do there are in the heat of the day, but then the important sessions, qualifying and races, is in the evening, so the track cools a lot and you have to be very adaptive with your setup. Normally if you're quick you don't want to touch the car, but in Bahrain you're forced to because the conditions change so much in the evening that you are forced to do something. But it's always been a track I've enjoyed and done well at, so Bahrain's been pretty good to me.
After Bahrain, the teams fly straight to China for round 3 of the championship. Another modern circuit, also on the F1 calendar since 2004, Shanghai is known for its high-speed straights combined with winding turns, making demands on both man and machine.
Shanghai, it's one initially, for whatever reason, I didn't really get to grips with that well. It was just technical, you know, turn 1 is really long, kind of goes uphill, then crawls its way downhill, and just a kind of technical track, but over the years it's actually become more and more a track I've enjoyed and done well on, and still yet to get a podium there, but I feel it's always a track I've had good speed on, and certainly one I enjoy now. So yeah, turn 1, 2, that's really unique, and if you get that right, it makes a big difference.
The Formula 1 Chinese Grand Prix has grown in popularity, becoming a mecca for Asia-Pacific motorsport fans. Passionate and informed, most Chinese fans worship the driver more than cars, technology or sport, as Daniel Ricciardo knows firsthand.
There's some pretty hardcore fans out in China. I always get kind of freaked out. They'll get me to sign photos of myself, which I don't even know where that photo came from. Like, it's a photo when I was probably 16 years old in a shopping centre in England or somewhere, and I'm like, how'd you get that photo? So it's funny, but I think the people that make the effort to come out to the track, they see that it's actually a really cool weekend.
With the addition of an extra race this year, taking the total to 21, the Formula 1 paddock will travel about 100,000 miles. To accommodate the tight schedule, some races are run back-to-back on consecutive weekends, and while that might throw up logistical complications, the drivers enjoy it.
Back-to-backs, generally, I really like them, you know, because you kind of just keep the ball rolling, and either way, after the first leg of the back-to-back, you're keen to race again, you know, so if you've won or had a good result, you're keen to kind of let that continue and get at it again, and if you have a bad weekend, you're keen to make up for it. So I think having a race straight after another is really cool.
After the break, we go driving in the snow in Slovenia with the winter trial and join the Porsche GT team at the 12 Hours of Sebring. Welcome back to Mobil 1 The Grid. Still to come, we meet the rally enthusiasts at this year's winter trial and head to Sebring for the inside story of Porsche's 12-hour race. We head to a snow-packed Europe now, where Mobil 1 The Grid caught up with this year's edition of the winter trial.
The Winter Trial, now celebrating its 18th year of competition, is for pre-1985 classic cars and pushes them to their limits through snow and icy conditions over 5 days in 4 different countries, and is hosted by ex-European hill climb champion and retired rally driver Dutchman Bart Rietbergen.
The Winter Trial is a rally for all those people that wanted to be a real rally driver when they were 18, 19, they didn't have the money. Now they have the time and the money, and they can feel like a real rally driver, and they enjoy it, they love it.
It's beautiful, with, what is it, 80 cars, something like that. It's every morning a new experience to find out what the day brings.
I must say Bart is doing it very well. The hotels, the lunches, the route is terrific, there's no mistake in, so yeah, it's great.
A strict entry policy ensures the Winter Trial remains an intimate affair between the aspiring rally drivers.
I don't like rallies where you have 200 participants. I want to be in one hotel every night, so we have everybody together. It's very much about the social side, and people want to tell their hero stories. We never take more than 100 cars, and we've done that since day one. We stick to it. We're always booked out, so that's good news.
This is my first time on the rally, and I was called in at the last minute. It's been fantastic seeing around the 3 or 4 countries. Sometimes I wish we could have stopped in some of those little villages and take a look around a little bit more. We're flying through them, but it's all good fun and great.
There's no time for sightseeing as the event wends its way through stunning winter landscapes. It's the co-driver who ensures things are headed in the right direction.
I think the driving is the easy part and the navigation is the tricky part. I have no idea about the navigation, and John says turn left, turn right, stop, turn around, go back, go faster, go slower, and I just do exactly what he says.
We fit GPS loggers, receivers in all the cars, so we know always where they are. We can see them on the screen. We know when they stop. We keep them as safe as possible. But we also control their speed, so make sure that they don't drive too fast in the towns.
Challenging the crews on the winter trial, 2 night loops on very dark roads.
We had a little problem in the second day in the night loop. We had a local in front of us, and that cost us too much time. This night is always something special, a heartbeat, and we like that.
Yeah, I hope I will do it good. Last year I destroyed my car completely in the last night. So I hope it will be better this year.
A little bit scary going downhill on fresh snow and slush, but yeah, it was exciting. That's why we do these sort of events, for a bit of a thrill.
Toward the end of the rally, an ice stage creates a unique experience and a bit of fun for the drivers.
If in doubt, flat out. That's my motto. But I don't want to damage the car. I'm great friends with this little car now, and I've got a bond with it. I would be very upset if we broke it on the last day.
At the end, smiles and laughter overshadow fatigue, with the Dutch team beating the English to victory.
Today's been nice. It was just a bit of fun around the track, but we were 10 minutes behind the leaders now, so we weren't going to get that back. So we just enjoyed it today, and we're happy with second. It's pretty good going. So there we are.
We don't believe it by ourselves now, but yes, we didn't expect it. And then when you win, then it's so nice. We were on Monday 14th or something.
Yeah.
But winter trial is winter trial. Every day can happen something.
We end the show in Florida at the 66th running of the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring, where Porsche would battle for GTLM honours. Arriving in Sebring for the winter test, both the 911 and 912 Porsches had work to do after Daytona, and for team principal Morgan Brady, the run-out provided vital info for the upcoming race.
Coming off of Daytona, longest race of the year, the cars go through an extensive rebuild. Then there are several technical discussions about what worked at the test, what's going to be applied at the race weekend, maybe what small updates we have coming.
After a short stint at home, Porsche mechanics set up shop and prepped the cars before the arrival of the star driver lineup.
Hi, it's Jimmy. It's time to get ready and ready for the long flight to Miami. It's 10:20 and we leave this morning about 1 o'clock French time, so it's a long trip. But we finally are at the racetrack.
Hi guys, my name's Lawrence Vantor. I'm currently in Florida, 2 hours away from Sebring. The Florida weather is a bit colder than I expected, so I had to improvise a bit. At least I'm fireproof.
Once at the track, each driver has his own way of getting into the zone for the race weekend.
Morning from day 0 in Sebring. This is Nick checking in. Quite a cold and early start, but lots of meetings today, on track tomorrow.
This morning I'm about to jump in the car and do a few extra laps in a GT3 Cup before the 12-hour and we get into the race with GTLM. So wish me luck.
Hey, it's Fred. Today we are Thursday. It's a setup day where we do all the briefing, all the mechanics prepare the car, ready for the race, and tomorrow first we practice and we will fight.
The harsh demands of Sebring put extra pressure on the crew trying to balance performance with durability, keeping in line with the IMSA regulations.
What the tech officials are looking for is making sure our car is legal before we go on the racetrack. So if your car is underweight, obviously it's going to be faster because you have to push less weight around the racetrack. If the car's lower, it's better in the air. So everything that we do in the workshop, we need to double check it with their equipment. So we're both in alignment before we go on the racetrack.
They are the guys behind the scenes because they're not in the picture as much as the drivers, but they do a bigger job than we do. You know, they work day and night on the cars, and we just arrive, have a coffee incident, and drive basically. So they do an incredible job, and the cars, every time when you arrive, they're in perfect shape.
As race morning dawned, Porsche had a fight on their hands, having only qualified 6th and 8th out of 9 GTLM entries, but a shrewd tyre strategy kept the challenge alive.
Our work is to try to find an artful balance between hot inflation pressure, camber settings, and most important, shock damping. It's so rough and it's so bumpy that at high speed you can get into a situation where it's really tough for the driver to see. So we think about things here that we might not think about at certain other tracks.
Sebring's one of the hardest tracks in the world to survive, but Michelin certainly built some great tyres for us, and you know, they seem to be holding up well. Certainly in the night they're really good for us.
Qualifying took place in the middle of the day. The race is going to end in the cool of the evening. We've set the tyre strategy to be quick at the end of the race, so we're really hoping for a quick car to get back on the podium.
A great start from the prototypes, but look at the GTLM battle between Corvette and Porsche.
Fighting through the afternoon heat and a series of full-course yellows, Porsche fought hard against series rivals BMW, Corvette, Ford and Ferrari for the GTLM lead.
We're happy to play with the yellows. It gives us opportunities to challenge on strategy. We did get a bit behind on the 912 after an issue that was caused in the pits. It keeps the racing really close, a lot of action for the fans.
As the track cools down, it's time to keep an eye on the 2 factory Porsches.
So more or less got 1 hour to go in the race. It's been pretty crazy to get where we are right now. We're P4 currently. I think the last pit stops will come up quite soon as well, so it's going to be pretty critical, and then it's a let-out race to the end.
Since the beginning, we start P8, we fight from lap 1 until the end. For the moment, everybody did a perfect job, but still 1 hour to go.
Nick Tandy in the number 911 Porsche comes to the line and wins at Sebring. Look at the relief of Porsche.
So I knew that we had to really go hard as possible to try and gap the BMW, and you know, the car at the end was superb. The way that it was going around the corners even amazed me. I'm so happy we've won Sebring. It's a huge race, and I'm so pleased with the whole team and all my teammates.
That's it for now, but join us on YouTube, Twitter and at mobil1thegrid.com for exclusive NASCAR, sports car and Formula One coverage. We're your home of motorsport online. Next time, we preview Formula One's Grand Prix in Azerbaijan. Check out the new IndyCar Aero Kit. And Long Beach hosts a weekend of IndyCar and sports car racing. See you next time.